If your husband wants to be a woman, would you agree? This woman not only chose Chen Quan, but also became a best friend with her husband. Some people say that this is a story about a wife who broke up with her husband, but I think this is a story about a soulmate. Xiao Shuai and Xiao Mei are a couple of painters who love each other. Xiao Shuai is in charge of landscape painting and is famous in the industry. Xiao Mei is in charge of portrait painting, but her career is not going well. On this day, Xiao Mei's model suddenly broke up. In order not to affect the lecture, she asked her husband to be a female model temporarily. Although it's funny, Xiao Shuai, who admires his wife, still wears a silk sock. He wears high heels and shows the posture of a woman in the painting. In order to draw the skirt, Xiao Mei puts a lace skirt on Xiao Shuai. Although there is some resistance, looking at such a seductive self, a wonderful feeling comes to Xiao Shuai's mind. After that, both of them are immersed in their own world. Until the model who broke off the engagement suddenly appeared. "Welcome to call you Lili." Under the mockery of the model, Xiao Shuai showed a more seductive posture. At night, looking at Xiao Mei's new sleeping dress, Xiao Shuai inexplicably likes it. I thought it was just a joke between the couple, but the next night, Xiao Mei was surprised to find that her husband was really wearing that silk dress. Although there are some suspicions, Xiao Mei, who has a big heart, is not too vigilant. On the contrary, her husband, who was changed by the style of painting, aroused creative inspiration. Looking at himself who is more feminine than his wife, Xiao Shuai's evaluation is, her husband's affirmation made Xiao Mei play with her heart. She painted her husband with exquisite makeup and made him a model again. I didn't expect Xiao Shuai to be so excited. Don't make her a slut. It's your fault. You excite her. The more they play, the more excited they are. They decided to play bigger. Xiao Mei dressed Xiao Shuai completely as a woman. The two of them attended the party together as sisters. "It's Lili, that's right. I know his cousin from Violet." All the men on the scene were amazed by Lili's unique temperament. They looked at each other. People are looking. "Well, you're a pretty girl." At first, Xiao Shuai was a little anxious, but under Xiao Mei's comfort, he gradually relaxed. Xiao Mei and her friends had been working together for a long time. A man came to the party. Xiao Shuai completely played the role of Lili. Like a young girl in love, she was very happy to talk to each other. Under the constant chat of the man, the two of them actually kissed. At this time, the scene of the tri-crown was just found by Xiao Mei, who came to find Xiao Shuai. Xiao Mei didn't have time to be impatient. A drop of blood spurted out of Xiao Shuai's nose. Zhe Quan became a coffin in an instant. In the eyes of the crowd, Xiao Mei took Xiao Shuai to leave the scene in a hurry. Although he promised Xiao Mei, but in his heart he couldn't help wanting to be Lili. Xiao Shuai changed into a woman more than once. With Lili's identity, he dated the boys at the party. But when the two of them were in love, the man called his name Xiao Shuai. It turned out that the man knew his identity from the beginning. Xiao Shuai was embarrassed and injured. He took off his coat and left in a hurry. At this moment, he is a woman, Lili, but what the other person likes is a man, Xiao Shuai. When Xiao Mei went out and came home, she saw her husband become Lili again. But she noticed he was crying. Zhe Quan became a coffin again. The frank confession instantly convinced Xiao Mei. Realized that he had hurt his wife, Xiao Shuai changed back to men's clothes and firmly stated that he really loved only Xiao Mei. But he couldn't control the Lili in his body. Xiao Shuai said, in fact, early in his teenage years, Lili had appeared. He fell in love with his hair, and the other person kissed him. After his father found out, he punished them. He was forced to go back to Jiangyang. Xiao Mei was shocked again. Suddenly, Xiao Shuai fell to the ground in pain. His body trembled uncontrollably. The two of them came to the hospital. The doctor's diagnosis was an endocrine disorder. They bound Xiao Shuai to the operating table, conducted a painful laser treatment. However, the treatment did not work at all. The doctor told Xiao Mai angrily, "Your husband is crazy." He didn't look back and left. On the same day, Xiao Mai's career was at its peak. Her painting of Lili as a material was taken away. The painter was going to hold an exhibition in Paris for her. Xiao Mai took Xiao Shuai to the exhibition. Lili in the painting is very popular. Looking at Lili in the painting, Xiao Shuai felt more and more that he was the person in the painting. After this, his life with Xiao Mai was no longer harmonious. In order to awaken his male characteristics, Xiao Shuai secretly went to watch the real-life version of the movie. But he imitated his wife uncontrollably. Xiao Mai didn't know how to keep her husband. In the end, she found her husband's hairpin. He was the first to wake up Lili. Xiao Mai proposed to arrange for Xiao Shuai to meet Fa Xiao. Xiao Shuai didn't refuse, but when Hans came, Xiao Shuai appeared as Lili. In order not to embarrass each other, Xiao Mai had to introduce him. But Hans saw it at a glance. This is Xiao Shuai. He met his first love again. Xiao Shuai was shy and excited. He seemed to have something to say to her. Xiao Mai became a little redundant. Xiao Shuai talked to the child unconsciously. But he suddenly felt sad. As Xiao Shuai, he has never had a child. And as Lili, it's even more impossible for her to have a child. Not only did not let Xiao Shuai return to normal, but this situation worsened. Looking at her husband's pain, Xiao Mai finally chose to compromise. This also means that he accepted his confession. Xiao Shuai and her husband became sisters from then on. After becoming Lili, Xiao Shuai became a colorful person. Since becoming Lili, Xiao Shuai stopped painting. The economic burden of the family is on Xiao Mai alone. In order to maintain her livelihood, Xiao Mai helped Lili dress up. Use two people as the material to draw a series of confidant paintings. The confidant painting series is very popular. Xiao Mai's painting exhibition is full of people. Han Si also came to the scene. Knowing that the couple had become best friends, Han Si began to pursue Xiao Mai. After rejecting Han Si, Xiao Mai's mood dropped to the bottom. Before the painting exhibition, she and Xiao Shuai were in pairs. Now, she is left all alone. Although Xiao Mai begged, Xiao Shuai only said, "I'm sorry." Helpless Xiao Mai collapsed and turned around to leave. Seeing Xiao Mai like this, Lili couldn't bear it. She painfully took off her woman's makeup and took off her wig. But even if the man's makeup was restored, she couldn't go back to Xiao Shuai. The relationship between the couple was in a stalemate. Both of them didn't know how to get along next. At this time, Xiao Shuai was also confused about her identity, so she dressed herself as a middle-aged man and woman. In order to clear herself, Xiao Shuai began to check various books. He studied the morality of normal and abnormal people. When he saw the documentary about transsexual surgery, Xiao Shuai was stunned. But soon, because of this unmanly character, he was beaten up by the street. Finally, he found Han Si again as Xiao Shuai. In order to help Xiao Shuai, Han Si asked several doctors for help. Some doctors thought Xiao Shuai had cognitive impairment and needed brain surgery. Some said he was a homosexual. Some thought he was mentally ill. Before being forcibly sent to the mental hospital, Xiao Shuai happened to escape. He couldn't even help himself with medicine. Xiao Shuai was desperate. Seeing Xiao Shuai in such pain,
Xiao Mai blamed herself deeply. She felt that her words had hurt Xiao Shuai. Under the recommendation of her friend, Xiao Mai took Xiao Shuai to a German doctor. Unlike other doctors, this German doctor accepted Xiao Shuai's difference and proposed a plan to turn Xiao Shuai into a woman. The surgery was divided into 2 stages. The first stage was to remove the male organ. The second stage was to create the female organ. But such a surgery had never been done before. The risk was great. After Xiao Shuai was identified as her husband for the last time, Xiao Shuai sat on the train to Germany with an extremely complicated mood. Xiao Mai said goodbye to her husband as her wife for the last time. Although Xiao Shuai insisted to face the surgery alone, Xiao Mai still couldn't help but rush over. The first surgery was very successful. Now you're making me strong. Then the two returned to Denmark together. Lili found a job in a department store. She went shopping with her colleagues. Lili was in a very good mood. Xiao Mai and Lili still slept on the same bed, but in the middle of the bed. In order to proceed with the second surgery as soon as possible, Lili increased the dosage of the recovery period. When Xiao Mai persuaded Xiao Shuai, Lili said unhappily, "I have my own way."
And she seriously reminded Xiao Mei, "Please don't take me as your husband anymore. Now I'm Lili. But now I have to take care of myself. I have to have a life of my own, and you need to do the same." Soon, Lili made an appointment for the second surgery. Xiao Mei thought she hadn't recovered yet, but Lili couldn't wait. "I could kill you." "I'm going on Friday. Will you come with me?" "I won't help you to hurt yourself. You'll kill me when you come." Although it was hard to accept, Xiao Mei still accompanied Lili to Germany. The second surgery was as scheduled. However, the surgery was not successful. Lili bled a lot during the surgery. The high fever didn't go away. Xiao Mei guarded Lili all night. Fortunately, the fever went away the next day. Regardless of Xiao Mei's opposition, Lili insisted on coming to the garden for a walk. Lili said she had the most beautiful dream of her life last night. She dreamed that she became a baby, lying in her mother's arms. Her mother called her Lili. Lili's smile gradually changed. Her fingers suddenly slipped. Xiao Mei and Hansi came to Xiao Shui's hometown and saw the world in Xiao Shui's painting. A gust of wind blew by, and Lili's scarf flew away with the wind. In Xiao Mei's eyes, the scarf that flew with the wind is the real freedom of Lili after breaking the shackles. The film ends here. This film changes the real story of the world's first transgender, Einar. Even if you die, you have to face your true self. Lili bravely explored her own spirit and inspired many transgender groups. And behind this courage is the companionship and support of her wife Xiao Mei from the beginning to the end. The relationship between the two has long surpassed that of a couple and has become a soulmate deep in the bone marrow. The most precious feeling between adults is not to agree, but to maintain respect. It is to allow her to be the one she wants to be.